don't know how long this one's gonna be, but it's spanking around here, even though it's bright and sunny out. I'm not gonna let the weather stop me, but it gives me a topic to talk about. So, when you're riding in the rain, heavy rain's fine. Like, I'm not saying ride like you normally do. When it's sprinkling is when you should worry. It's, believe it or not, it's the hardest time to ride other than when it's straight up storming. One of the things you have to keep in mind is all the little oil from people's cars with oil leaks and whatever. All that's basically being brought up. So the roads are being slicker. And for some reason, it's like 18-mile-per-hour winds right now. But there's also a trick whenever you're riding in the rain. If you wear a full face helmet or even a modular and you have a visor, if you turn left and then turn right, it'll clear everything but what's in the middle. But it's better than staring through water droplets. I actually really enjoy riding in the rain. I mean, I'm not gonna go off out on the highway doing a $150. I don't do it anyways, but I find rain relaxing, and on a hot day like today, like it was 80 degrees today, cold water feels nice. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so hopefully my battery stays up. Yes, get all the way against me. That's a sheriff. But yeah, when it's sprinkling, you have to be the most careful. And that red lights and stuff, stay away from the middle. You can see all the oil spots in the road. It's not as bad just going down the road, but you can still see it. It's a clear defined line, and it looks like it's just part of the road, but no, that's from cars leaking oil and coolant, whatever. And all of it's slick on pavement once it's wet. Avoid going through the middle, but it's not guaranteed you're going down if you go through the middle. I mean, I just went through it, and that's because there was a turn right there that most people turn into. I want to be able to go around if I need to. The main thing on riding in the rain, be careful. Don't lean hard on turns. Slow down. If the person behind you hits you, disability for life. You don't have to work. You can spend more time on a bike and they buy you a new bike. Don't worry what other people are doing around you. I mean, sure, focus on the guy in front of you. Make sure he's not hitting his brakes like that, but quit worrying about the cars. I understand. I mean, I'm doing 50. If I hit pavement right now, I'm going to be in a hospital bed for a while. I understand that. And I understand that I'm going to struggle during that time and even after that time until I'm back to work and I get some paychecks on me. But it's better to focus on that, or focus on just riding, than trying to focus on all these cars. Now, if it's a hot day, yeah, focus on the cars. And the reason I say that is because today, say the guy behind me rear ends me, my back tire locks up. Well, the roads have a little water on them. I can slide the back tire. Chances are nothing's going to happen to my front. It's not a guaranteed anything could happen, but it's figuring out what you can take and what you can't take. I can take my back tire locking up. I mean, I can take riding one-handed, so if one of my things falls off. I actually rode home yesterday one-handed just to see if I could. It's knowing your limits and making sure you're capable for failure. Back tire locks up, I can handle it. Front tire locks up, I'm going down. I won't question it. I just, in the moment, you have to decide, are you going to surf it or are you going to slide it? And what I mean by that is, if you watch actual racing, motorcycle racing, some people, when they go down, they'll hop on top of their bike and slide to the stop. And there's nothing wrong with that. In the perfect situation, and your bike lays just right. But if you're trying to do that and your tires are this way, you're on it going this way, I mean, all it takes is slightly wrong weight or your bike stopping too quick and those tires touching is going ass over tea kettle. So you have to be careful of that. Also, when you're going down the road, like, if I hit pavement right here, I'd go for the right ditch. Sure, there's a fence, but it's not barbed wire. There's a good patch of grass to land in. Chances are I'm going to be going at an angle, so I'm not going straight over. And like on turns and stuff, if I went down, say I went down right now, I don't want to hit that metal pipe. So I'm going to slide and push away from the bike to slow me down a little bit. And that way when the bike hits, I hit the bike. It's a lot flatter of a surface. I'm less likely to cause permanent damage. I'm not saying I won't. I mean, you never know. Anything could happen. I could literally be in a parking lot, fall over and break a vertebrae. It's just life. But planning ahead, knowing how to execute certain situations is very handy, especially if you do it for fun. I mean, I ride mine daily. I have a lot more experience than most people, even the ones that have been riding for years. I've been riding roughly 2 years as a daily, every chance I got. I've rode in rain, I've rode in sleet, I've rode on 100-degree days, 110 degrees. I mean, I've been in small town, big city, I mean, traffic, highways, back roads, around lakes. I'm not saying that no one can outdo me. What I'm saying is it's less likely for someone that goes riding every couple weekends and only puts maybe 5 miles on their bike. Chances are, if one of them's been riding as long as I have, I will outperform them. And it's not because I have a badass bike or they have a slow bike or something. It comes down to skill. I mean, I have this. I had a, my buddy's dad has a Kawasaki Nomad. I would not challenge him, even to a race. And it's because he's rode that bike for so many years, he's got it down to a T. He can do parking lot maneuvers, he can do high speed, but he had that bike for 5-6 years. I have 2. And he was riding before that bike. I mean, I was too, but not as much. He's also a lot older than me, so he's a seasoned rider, and that's the biggest difference. A seasoned rider basically means you've been around long enough that you earn skills. I mean, I may not be able to wheelie this bike or do stoppies like all these people in Dallas, but I can get point A to point B. I can get on it. I can have some sketchy situations happen and get out of them without hitting pavement. It doesn't mean I'm going to put myself in those sketchy situations, because clearly I don't want to be hurt. Otherwise I'd be able to do wheelies. I haven't tried doing wheelies. I used to do them on dirt bikes and stuff. My first bike I did 1 or 2. I mean, I had it in a year, 1 or 2. But it was also a little 250, not 600. And it probably weighed a quarter of this bike. Man, talking really hurts your throat. I'm sure my battery's dead by now, but in case it's not, I'm going to keep going. Having experience is the biggest thing. Even if it's not on pavement, That's why I always suggest a dirt bike. And I always suggest it about the time I get to this bridge. I don't know why or how, but you get the basics of it. Dirt bikes feel looser than street bikes, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, I ride a crotch rocket. They feel tight. Cruisers, like Harleys and stuff, they feel loose. It's hard for me to have confidence on one of those because I'm so used to this. So think of it like guitars. You learn on acoustic, you can play electric. It's easy to learn. Now, if you learn on electric, it's hard to learn acoustic. I don't understand why, but it's true. I've done both. So if you're gonna get a beginner bike, I would not suggest a crotch rocket. I'd suggest go buy a Yamaha Bolt. I haven't heard anything bad about those. They're fuel injected, so if it sits over winter, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to worry about your carburetors. Steer away from V-Stars. I don't like them. They have a lot of carburetor problems. If you let them sit at all, they start having issues. What else has issues? Harleys, if you let them sit, because they're carbureted. Basically, any carbureted bike is going to have issues if you let it sit. Ignore everyone saying winterize your bike for winter or whatever. Just go out there, start it, rev it up a few times, and you'll be fine. It's the people that will take their bike, they'll park in their yard all winter and not touch it. And when it starts getting warm weather, they're like, oh, I'm going to wait to make sure it doesn't change. That's what kills carburetors. And then you have to spend the $200 to $300 to get it cleaned or rebuilt, whatever has to happen. Believe it or not, I deal with that on four-wheelers all the time. I work on four-wheelers and UTVs. Every now and then, a motorcycle or dirt bike. But on the ATVs, it's just like bikes. You let them sit for a year, yeah, you're going to have issues. And you can't avoid it. I thought that dog was out of the fence. Oh, that scared me. I don't want to hit a dog. But if you're going to buy a bike, try to find a fuel injected. I mean, fuel injection's been around since the 80s. 86 Goldwing 1200 or 1400. They have a fuel injected model, and it's cool. I don't know anything about it or how hard it is to replace electronics, but I know modern bikes, I'm not going to say all of them, but majority of them are fuel injected. I know new bikes are expensive, but you can find some, like, do the Honda Grom. It's enough you can learn. It feels like a cruiser, not like a crotch rocket, but it still has some stability. It's like right in the middle. It's like playing an electric acoustic guitar. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. And it's small enough that if something happens, you can pick it up, throw it in the back of a truck, take it home, fix it. I mean, they're good little bikes. I've rode them. I've never owned one. I'd love to, but haven't made it there. But y'all see the tower, so it's almost the end of the video. If it still has battery, I forgot to charge it. But anyways, oh, that's pretty. I hope y'all got to see that. Well, top of the hill, so I'll see y'all next time.